All right, let's do this. It's almost 12:01. Okay, here we go. So the theme for today has to do with anxiety and how we relate to whatever anxious stuff is going through our brain. So I love this picture of the roller coaster. There's one of my heroes, Robert Sapolsky. He's a primatologist and neuroscientist down at Stanford. He says there's a reason roller coasters only last about 3 minutes, because if they were 10 minutes, nobody would do them, right? It just wouldn't be fun anymore. And it kind of gets at the heart of what I'm trying to put on the table today. So here's a quote from Sam Harris. Most of what we experience as psychological suffering is a matter of cognitive framing. You can be in a state of extreme physiological arousal, so sweating, heart pounding, mind racing. And if you label it exercise, adventure, or fun, it's pleasurable. If you label it as social anxiety or a problem, it becomes a nightmare. So the goal of mindfulness is to see the sensation and raw experience for what it is before the story takes over. Right? So what he's getting at here is, the same physiological experience that we have when we pay good money to get on the roller coaster ride. Like, why do we do that? Because there's something fun about having the, heart pounding and being out of breath and being kind of scared. But in the context of a roller coaster ride, it's like, yeah, I'm doing this because it's fun. But when you're on the receiving end of of someone laying into you about what a jerk you've been, and the same physiological stuff happens, like you're sweating, your heart is pounding, it's not fun, because our mind says one situation is fun and enjoyable and the other one is a problem. But in both cases, like if we're really mindful about it, we simply can notice, oh yeah, my palms are sweaty, my heart is pounding, my mind is racing, but it's the context that makes the difference. And so that's what I'm trying to get at today. And so the question is, how do we do that? Here's a few tips. The first one is to create the context for the physical sensations. So that's what I mentioned. So if we can remember the context in one scenario is, oh, this is supposed to be fun, or I'm doing this voluntarily, versus this is being imposed upon me. In both cases, you're probably feeling something similar in the body, but the mental construct or the context we create makes all the difference. Second, take some time to actually explore the anxious predictions, right? Oftentimes when we're feeling anxious, what's making us feel anxious is sort of the prediction that, oh, I'm going to be scared of being scared at some point in the future. So it's not necessarily the fear or the sensations of the anxiety that are the problem. It's that additional layer that we put in there, which says, oh, this is going to really suck down the road, and I don't want that. I want to avoid it. Separating the thoughts from the thinker. This is sort of at the core of any good mindfulness practice, is just noticing that, I am me, and I am the one that is having the thoughts, the scary, anxious thoughts about the future. And those are two very distinct, separate things that are going on. And then lastly, just really practically thinking about, okay, so worry is coming up. So as I'm going up the roller coaster, I'm worried, it's a little bit scary and freaky. Is it appropriate for me to be worrying about this right now? Versus the rumination that oftentimes kicks in, where it's like, oh, geez, this is going to be terrible and it's going to be awful. So, it's this idea of like, worry about the stuff that you can influence, and the rest just let it go. So it's probably a mouthful, but let's try it out. So close your eyes. Taking a moment to settle in. What we're about to do is as much practice as it is just an exploration, right? So just opening our minds, opening our hearts to Yeah, let me try this on for size and see if there's something useful there. There's no right and wrong in this. There's no good or bad. So anchoring yourself in sensations in the here and now. We're safe. We're together. Breath is coming and going. The ground is solid. We are fundamentally okay in this moment. Whatever happened this morning is done. Whatever we're thinking or imagining is going to happen this afternoon has not yet happened. And so we're just left with right here, right now. And see if you can contact or make connection with the okayness of this moment for what it is. And using our mind to create a little lab experiment for ourselves. See if you can think back to a time that stimulated some anxiety or some physiological arousal. So maybe it was a difficult conversation. Maybe you were running late to a doctor's appointment. Traffic was heavy. Just some situation in which you noticed yourself just feeling off, agitated. And then imagine yourself back in that situation and see if you can drop in and feel it. Feel the worry, the dis-ease, and then notice what's going on in your body in that moment. Where do you feel the stress? Notice your chest, your belly, the hands, the shoulders, all those places where we feel that kind of anxiety and tension. And then ask yourself, what's the context for these physical sensations or this experience you're having in the body? And so it's just taking a step back, looking at the big picture. A person just cut you off or took your parking spot. Said something to you that felt hurtful. And on some level, what I'm looking for is there a part of you that can sit there and just almost with a smile on your face to say, well, of course I'm going to feel this way. I don't want to be late. I don't want to be told X, Y, or Z. So of course this is going to feel difficult in the body. How else would it feel to sign divorce papers or get that big bill from the credit card company? It's like, of course, the context makes sense. And then notice what the mind is telling you about what's going to happen in the future. Oh gosh, the fact that this is happening right now and I feel this way in the body, it means all these things are going to happen in the future. I can predict all the terrible things that will be coming my way. Just see them for what they are. They're just predictions. We have no idea if that's actually going to happen, but it's the mind doing its thing, anticipating, worrying. We have no idea if any of that stuff is actually going to happen. And yet there's the mind spinning, worrying. And see if you can find the space between you as the thinker and the thoughts themselves, these anxious predictions. And see if you can notice that they're just stuff that the thinking mind is engaging with. Those anxious thoughts are no more real or true than just experiencing, sitting, noticing the mind is thinking, feeling the feet under your ground or the ground under your feet, breath coming and going. You're the thinker. The mind is thinking these thoughts. And they're just thoughts. How many of those thoughts, those anxious predictions about the future, are actually useful in this moment? Some of them may be really useful, and many of them are just going to be spinning, ruminating, worrying. So, seeing if you can distinguish between what's useful and what's just endless, mindless spinning. Staying with that memory, take a deep breath in, long, slow out breath, breathing into the worry, the anxiety, the predictions. And then hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And still staying with that situation. Just inhale and out. So filling the space around you, exhaling the worries, the predictions, the fear. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping your eyes closed, just let the body breathe. remembering you're the thinker. And those thoughts just appear. They're not the same thing. As long as you can remember to distinguish between you and the anxious thoughts, there's a space from which you can make good, healthy, productive decisions about how to proceed. Open your eyes, come on back. We ran out of time. I could have kept going for a while longer. And of course, you're welcome to keep doing that. But yeah, I think it's really helpful to remember the stuff that we worry about in most situations, especially when we feel it in the body. If we're able to just sort of settle into just letting those sensations be as they are, and then do the stuff that we just did, I think it can really help just chill the nervous system out. So anyway, hope that wasn't too far out there, and hope to see you guys tomorrow for some gratitude. Thank you.